was telling Shihan that I trained in this tradition of Vajrayana Buddhism. I first started when I entered ninjutsu in 1994. And the ninjutsu studio that I went to was, the Grand Master was a Shingon priest, and Shoto Tanemura, who was initially affiliated with Hatsumi Sensei in the Tokugaru tradition. And they split ways, and Shoto Tanemura set up his own school, and he became a Shingon priest. When I began studying ninjutsu, I was already in the midst of this tradition, and that's how I was introduced to it. Shingon Buddhism is the Japanese version of Vajrayana Buddhism that is similar to the Buddhism of Tibet, but Shingon is, of course, a Japanese expression, tradition. So it's different, but it's the same too. But that's how I was introduced, and so that was 21 years ago. And eventually I went into retreat with the Tibetans in 1997. And in order to become a Lama, you have to spend years in retreat. And by retreat, I can explain it to you this way. Go into your bathroom in your house and shut the door. And just think about living in that space for 2 years without running water. Wow. Now you're in and out because you're living in the forest, but your basic place that you reside is in that space. And then the teachers, both male and female, monks and what we call householders. Monks and nuns are celibate, and then householders are married. So male and female, monks, nuns, and householder, male and female, all lamas were my teachers over that 2-year period. And then while I was in retreat, I met the abbot of the Dalai Lama's personal monastery who had come to visit, and he liked me because he had not seen an African American in retreat, and he decided that he would allow me to be his student, and I studied for another 12 years personally with him. And just to give you an idea of what that's like, in Ghostblade School, new students are given names, and they're usually very powerful names to inspire students. But when I started my training with the abbot of the Dalai Lama's personal monastery, he gave me a name. But the name that he gave me was Sasquatch, which is the name of a big hairy monster, right? And everybody, all the students thought that was hilarious because I'm a large person, I'm 6'2", and so he would tell everybody that my Buddhist name was Sasquatch, and everybody would crack up, and he would make a big joke of it. At the beginning of a teaching, because I traveled with him, and we'd go to places, and he would introduce me as Sasquatch, and everybody would laugh, and then he'd make jokes about me, and for the first year I knew him, the only name he would ever call me is Sasquatch. So finally, one day, I said to him, you know, you can't call me Sasquatch like that because I'm African American, and, you know, it's hard enough trying to be who I am in this society without you, with your noble Buddhist lineage, calling me Sasquatch. So he said, okay.